Hi, fellow traders. Yes, I'm back. I'm back trading, back in the saddle, and really, really happy to be back trading. It was kind of hard the last couple of days. Being in the market and not taking the trade. It was a little difficult, but hey, it's what I had to do. I'm very proud that I had the discipline and the patience to do the things that I needed to do in order to make my trading better. So I'm back. Hopefully I'll be a whole lot better. And in turn, I'll be able to do more to help you guys achieve the goals that you have for yourself. So, challenges are what make life interesting. But when we overcome them, that's where the depth comes in. That's where all of life's lessons are learned. It's when we're overcoming these challenges. And, it brings meaning and depth to our life. In this picture, I took this picture a couple weeks ago when I was in Turks and Caicos. And this is an actual picture of somebody's backyard. Okay, here's the house. Right here. This is the backyard that I took a picture of. Just imagine the people that live in this house live here every day, all year. They live on this island. But it's beautiful. I mean, imagine waking up every morning and looking at that view. I can imagine myself, building a little room on the back with a view where I can sit there and trade. I mean, that is incredible. Hold on, let me shut up. Benzinga Charlie, sorry about that. But, just imagine that. But there's a challenge. There's a price that they have to pay. And they say the challenge is what makes them appreciate this beauty every day. It's what makes their modest life on that island. It's what makes it. And look at so here's the backyard. Here's the other side of the house. And then when you look next door, you've got a house in ruins. You've got cars that are crashed. Now, I wish I had taken more pictures of, some of the destruction. Because you could ride down the road and you see a nice house here and a house there. And then a house just half torn apart. Cars that are upended against trees. Cars that are actually in the woods on the other side that were once in the driveway of the house that's now on the other side of the street up in woods. And I mean, just devastating. But that's the challenge, because every year they have hurricanes, they have tropical storms. So it's a cost, a challenge to live there. Just to flip back at that house, you can see right here, they're putting on a new roof. This is the insulation stuff that goes on before they put the roof on. They're still recovering from the hurricane that happened last year. But there's a challenge. But that's what makes all of this beauty that they have, worth it. And here's a house that car belonged to. A big chunk of the house is missing. And instead of rebuilding it, they just started, they just lost half of that house and started, fixing up what was left. But, those challenges. And I see those challenges in my trading. Those challenges is what helps me learn and helps me grow. And helps bring meaning, to my trading. We all go through challenges. We all are going to struggle. and and we need those struggles throughout our trading career, no matter how deep we get into it. You can be 30 years into your trading career, and those struggles that come along are going to be those that help you grow and get to that next level and become, that much better of a trader. Because we all have to change, we all have to grow, we all have to adapt to the changing market. And, I can't explain to you how good I feel now taking the time off after these challenges and just sitting back looking at what I've learned. And then I was able to apply it today in the market and make some pretty good money. Not what I wanted to make, but, it was okay. So let's look at NKE. The story that came out. Most of you should know the story by now. And if you didn't know who Kaepernick was, the former football player, you should know who he is now and his backstory and how, why he's really famous right now and why Nike giving him this contract and bringing him on as part of this promotion caused such an uproar. But when we trade these stocks, we as independent retail traders, we need things like this to happen to help move the stocks. We're short-term day trading, swing trading, and we need these types of catalysts to help move the stocks. Because if they never happen, we're stuck trading the markets like what we see after 10:30 every day. And really in the summertime, where you just don't see any big moves. You may see 10 to 20, 30 cent moves, sometimes 50 cent moves. But unless you're trading massive size, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make any money. So we need these things. And it doesn't matter where we are or what your personal feelings are. You're trading other people's thoughts and emotions. You want that emotion in the market. You don't want to project it, because if you're projecting that emotion, people are going to be trading and making money off of you. So I want to see this, regardless of what I believe or anything like that. I'm not, you see people that, post talking about they're throwing all of their Nike stuff away. They're burning it. Somebody said they're going out and they're buying all of these shoes and then throwing them away. Well, hey, you do that, you're just helping the company. So, but, people are reacting and we're trading, that emotion. And that's how we make money. So there's nothing wrong with it, because if we don't trade it, we're not going to make money. And, that's just the way it is. So I was trading what I felt the emotion was going to be today. Whenever something controversial hits a company, oftentimes you're going to get a negative reaction in the market. Now, full disclosure, I am long and I have a pretty significant position in Nike, in my investment account. But my day trading, when I'm going, just short-term trading, I will trade against my positions in my long-term account, because I'm trying to make money. I'm making money over the short term, but then I'm making money over the long term. I fully 100% believe that Nike is going to recover and it's probably gonna be a lot stronger. So I'm not killing my position. I'm not one of those who's like, oh, I'm gonna sell all of my stuff. No, that's not me. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so I am overall gonna keep my long position in this, but I just traded it short, and I thought today we were gonna get a sell-off, and we did. It just didn't follow through. I didn't get the big move I thought I was gonna get. I thought this was gonna be huge, but you can see we started selling off. It got down to 78, 75. Just a quick dip. It just kind of hung around there. So I had to take some off. And this is where my learning came into play. Everything that I went through, that I learned while I was on my time out, was there were too many times where I got in these trades and I was like, well, it didn't hit my target, so I'm just going to leave it on. Regardless of what the price action was telling me, I would be up over $1,000 on positions. I mean, I wouldn't know it at the time. Probably if I was watching my P&L, I would have taken profit. But I wasn't watching it. I don't watch it. And I noticed, I figured it out after the fact that I've been up, over $1,000. And then I end up red $500-$600 on the trade because I was stubborn and not taking profit when it gave it to me. I was like, I'm just going to hold it. If it doesn't hit it. So, today I was like, I'm going to take some. So I took, a couple hundred shares just in case we decided to, reject here and come back. I was watching this price action, and this thing looked so strong that I was just like, hell with it. I'm taking it off. I'm locking in this profit, and if it sets up again, I will get back in. Now, I almost got back in here, but I started seeing something again that I didn't like, and I have to trust my instincts. I feel I am very good at reading price action and doing all of this, so I have to trust it. And that's what I did. Ended up making $600 on this, whereas I could have ended up losing. I mean, it never did really come back to, it did come back a little bit. I wouldn't have lost any money on this, but I don't think I would have made what I made on it. So I was proud of the fact that I wasn't stubborn. I read what was happening, and I took evasive action, and I made money. And that's what you have to do. This was still early in my all-day holds. I'm gonna watch them at the open, and I'm gonna manage them around the open. And once it settles in, then I'm gonna leave it on and let it work. But this never really got settled, so I had to take it off. On the next trade, we tried a trend continuation trade later on in the day, coming out of lunch. I knew, after 10:30 or so, I'm not going to really get in any trades. I'm going to wait until we start coming out of lunch and looking to take some continuations where we can just get a slow fade the rest of the day or a slow move up the rest of the day. Well, of course, this one came up, tapped VWAP, rejected, tried to push again, rejected, got in up under the moving averages. I was patient. I didn't jump the gun. I waited for the retest and failed, got in. Perfect entry for somebody like me who likes to, wait for confirmation and get a good solid entry based on some resistance if it's a short or support if it's a long. And so I felt really good about this trade. But then, we started working and we hit this brick wall right here at 41.30, which is ironically where we put in support here earlier in the day. So we sold off, and I was like, okay, if we lose VWAP, I'm out. And it never really attacked VWAP. Never really pushed it, never really attacked it. And then it started to sell, so I felt pretty good about it. It came down and tapped this. And now I said, if it can't push it on this third try, it's time to get out. Maybe flip it long. And I had a call I had to take. And I had to just put it on autopilot. I had to put my stop in place and just kind of put it on autopilot. But had this, had I not had to do that and I'd have been able to keep my eye on this, this sure as hell would have got flipped long right here. Right off the 50. And I'd have been looking for the 100 and then, probably halfway between here and then red to green or the 200 coming in. But I wasn't able to pay attention. I was on a conference call, so was kind of had my hands tied. But I'm very happy that I was patient. I waited for the setup. I got in. I managed the setup. Never got emotional. Never felt the market was against me or out to get me. So it was to me, it was a really good experience today. So I was pretty happy. Even though this trade didn't work out, I knew that's why I only took 100 shares of this. I knew it was a risk. I was contemplating adding once we got below this, and then taking some off below 41 when we got near, this low here, but, it just didn't materialize. And this is one of the instances where, hey, the trade set up, beautiful setup, everything was, all the stars were coming in alignment, but it just didn't work. And then all of a sudden, volume came in and drove this thing right back up. So, here's where you got to realize, okay, somebody wants this thing to go. When this volume came in and it started kicking, you can sit back and watch, or you can be on the same side as big money. And, I'm trying to make sure I get on the side of big money now. Figuring out where they're wanting this stock to go and take it. And again, you cannot be personal. You can't let your personal feelings about something or a company or anything affect how you trade or whether you trade a stock. Because if you do, you shouldn't be trading at all. No reason for you to be trading, because it's not going to work for you. So you've got to listen to the market. Be a market whisperer. Watch the price action. Let the price action tell you, whether your trade is still working or not. And whether what you're thinking is going to happen, or some people use thesis. Whether your trade thesis is working. Because all we can do is just, look at a trade, try to build evidence to support our trade plan, and execute. And if your trade starts to look a little shaky and it doesn't have any evidence pointing toward it continuing, you got to close it. You got to let it go and just walk away. All right, so that's gonna do it for me today. We'll be back at it tomorrow. See if we can get some good trades out of the gate. You know, we only watch NKE and I can't even remember now. The two stocks we did watch did not give good entries for an opening range trade, and you know, waiting, it still didn't give entries. So you know, I didn't even look to take any of those. Now, once the entries went away, I wasn't forcing it. So that's kind of what happened with the beginning of the day. All right, guys. So we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see if we can make it happen.